So I missed, I guess, like the opening to Roland's thing. So was there some question, or is it just kind of a free thing?
Of what?
I mean, is there a specific angle of the Firefox stuff that you want me to talk about, or something?
No, just like if you have anything to share, updates, whatever you think might be interesting for people to hear, and then if they have questions.
It will be made public, by the way, so if there's
Yeah.
anything super confidential with Firefox that shouldn't be there,
This is recorded, so.
Okay.
use your best radio voice.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Deleting half of the stuff.
So something I think you'll all be interested to know, if you don't already, is that Addon signing has been vastly improved in terms of how friendly it is to developers and users, and so we should not have all the things that we feared we would have with that. Users complaining, that they can't use add-ons, things like that. The add-on signing process was going to, well, until recently, it did require going through like an automated security check, and if your app didn't pass that, which a lot of apps never would really, or sorry, a lot of extensions never would, because they were just so large, or they just had things that would get caught in our scanner every time. Then they would have to go through a manual review, and that manual review would take a long time. Like we got it when we started, it was like 4 to 6 weeks, and that was like half a year ago. And then more recently, it was like a week or less. But that's still a really long time. If somebody who has a very large extension, like say let's say Tech or something, if they have like a security, right? A lot of people use their extension, unfortunately.
Well, a lot fewer at the moment, but
Yeah.
It's a question if users use it really, or they just have it installed and it's there.
But then when it goes missing, they complain. Right.
Yeah.
Even though they may not be using it. But anyway, for something like that to get updated, it could potentially take a week, and understandably, a lot of people were unhappy about that. So ultimately, the decision was made to just essentially automatically approve all submissions for extensions, and that includes extensions that are not hosted on AMO. So it was going to be that no matter what, if your extension wasn't hosted on AMO, it would have to go through a full security review each time it was updated, if you wanted to have it signed. But that's not the case anymore, so now all extensions can be signed very easily, and they'll only be checked for issues kind of after the fact, so after they've been posted up. I think we'll also be, I believe there is some automated scanning that's happening, but it doesn't really like reject add-ons from being posted, so we will be preventing people from like copying somebody else's add-on and then signing it as their own. So we'll be just checking if add-ons are duplicates of other add-ons, essentially. And as far as I know, and this changes a lot, but as far as I know, Dev Edition is going to have that pref to allow add-ons.
Yep.
So people are developers, and they can use Dev Edition. Beta as well for now, but I'm not sure if that's going to remain the case for beta. Because we do have this unbranded browser that's supposed to be coming out, which not a lot of people really know a lot about. It's kind of difficult to find information about it. I'm not even sure if it's totally still happening. But the idea behind the unbranded browser was, one of the ideas behind it was that it would have that pref. And so I think if that does come out, then we'll probably be removing the pref from the beta edition. But for now, Dev Edition does all that. Now, I wouldn't recommend normal users, switch to Dev Edition just to be able to use some add-on. But maybe like a power user, or if somebody is a developer or a designer or something, because there are a lot of cool features there, it would help them. But some downsides to Dev Edition are, according to crash statistics, it crashes about twice as much, for example, which never crashes for me.
No,
so
it's my main browser. I don't have an
it's
issue
my
with it.
it's my main
I
browser
use
too.
Nightly.
And how's that?
It's awesome.
Yeah.
On desktop.
The problem I found with Nightly is that add-ons often, like it'll update and then an add-on won't.
I don't use add-ons.
well, they
So Android has the same Android, has the same add-on thing.
signing.
Yeah, we're just one release behind. So we'll have the pref, and then we'll turn it off one release after desktop.
Well, are we somehow expecting that all this kind of crapware stuff will, or they will submit it to be signed, or
Essentially,
or do
they
we have
will. So
evidence of this going on already?
right. So my understanding is that we're still going to be doing some automated scanning, and if there's like stuff that's like really obviously, like you said, crapware, then we will block it. Especially like the state of extension blocking right now is we're basically blocking on the name. So if you create a duplicate of the same exact extension with a new name and a new email address, it's unblocked, which is very easy to get around. And so the new system will be when you submit the code to get it signed, if it matches, more or less exactly an existing malicious add-on or crapware add-on, then it's not going to get approved. But we're not doing, we're not checking for, we're not attempting to check for things that we think are connected to being a bad add-on or to being a security vulnerability or something like that, which is what we were doing before, but that is just, what we found was took a lot of resources and just wasn't that effective. So now we're taking a less strict approach. Nobody's really said it, but I believe the plan is to kind of get better at the security scanning thing behind the scenes and then re-implement it when it's actually effective. So I believe we're still, even just with this signing the way that it's going to be when the new version of Firefox comes out on December 15th. Tuesday. I think we'll see a large improvement in getting rid of crapware add-ons, even with that. And I think they'll just get better from there. But anyway, the important thing is that users won't be complaining about not being able to have their add-ons. Hopefully, because unless developers don't get their add-ons signed and they don't host them on AMO, so if the add-ons are relatively abandoned, then that's a problem. But if they're open source or if they have a license that allows people to fork them, then potentially somebody could just upload it to or get it signed themselves if they follow the license. So that is an option. Okay, so that's a big thing. Let's see, what else is new? Oh, Windows 64-bit is available, as you guys have seen.
And it should be available through Mozilla.org website.
And it should be
The next release.
43,
on
right?
Tuesday.
Yeah,
It should
43.
Be yes, 43. Yes, 43. So on should be available on the download all page. Just like Dev Edition already is. If you go to the download all Dev Edition page, you'll see there's an extra column there for 64-bit. So it'll look
I
like
think
that.
beta's been for a while as well.
It has been for a while as well, yeah. But it won't be on the main download page. So the plan there is to probably have it on the main download page in January, for the January release, 44. But maybe not, we'll see how that goes. But even when it's on the main download page, we're going to try to only show it for people who are on Windows 10, Windows 8. 8 plus. 8 plus, yeah, essentially, because we're not guaranteeing compatibility with older Windows operating systems for the 64-bit version because it's just.
Windows 7, because previous, even Microsoft doesn't support
Right, so
64-bit.
Right, correct, yeah. So, we do still technically support Windows XP, which Microsoft doesn't support. So sometimes we do support things that are not supported by the vendors themselves, but that's not the case with 64-bit because it would just be too much to support. Maybe eventually, but not. It's not planned right now. The plan there is And then eventually, and there's no planned date for this yet. It's more just like when we think that 64-bit is safe enough and reliable enough and compatible enough with plugins and things that people want. The plan is to automatically update people to 64-bit, and that should be happening first with Dev Edition, and then with beta. So that's something that will ride the train. And so there'll be. I think there'll be a lot of talk about that as it's happening, so I don't think anybody will be surprised to have the 64-bit updated automatically.
Once in the future, it's possible like to drop support for 32-bit.
Oh, I don't think we're going to drop support for
like
32-bit.
maybe 2 years, 3 years.
Oh yeah, like 3, 4, 5 years in the future, I think we'll drop Windows 32-bit support. It'll be a while. I mean,
because I read like Chrome has some plans to drop 32 bits. At least for Linux, I think now, and for Windows, like in the future, sometime.
Yeah, we don't have any like scheduled plans to do that, but eventually it will happen. Sure. 32-bit is largely just kind of disappearing, but we do still have tens of millions of people using 32-bit systems. So, all right, what else is interesting?
So we only have like 15 minutes left.
Okay, is there anything that anybody is specifically wondering about or questions about Firefox Desktop? Just anything?
Maybe just the add-ons like Pocket being separated and Hello being separated to add-ons. Will be possible to remove them like from the add-ons manager, or will be hidden like you have to go into the installation and remove the file?
I don't think so. So there's the way the press is reporting it. It seems that a lot of people may be confused about that. So Pocket is being moved to a system add-on, as are some actual Firefox functions like Hello. But the idea behind system add-ons is that they're not controlled through the add-on manager in the same way that add-ons like email and things are. They're only add-ons in the sense that they use that they're separate from the Firefox code base, and that they're updated through the add-on updating mechanism.
Yeah, so they do not rely on the release cycle.
Right. So the whole idea is that they can update faster, essentially, or that they don't have to update at the same time as Firefox. So it's nothing more than that. There's not going to be any greater ability to remove them, and that applies for any like Hello as much as it does for Pocket.
So we can go and delete the add-on file from the installation.
I've read it's coming back again the next time it pings the server.
Yeah.
So you can.
One question for myself.
Yep.
At the moment, what's the current sort of ETNS rollout, and also what's the at the moment there is a bug in respect to Windows 10, in so much as it same for the Dev Edition I've seen, whereby if it sees an accessibility feature has been triggered at some point, it blocks the option. You can still turn it on in about config.
For E10S, it blocks the option.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's some known issues with E10S and with the accessibility, some of the accessibility stuff. That is being worked on. I think that's one of the biggest. So E10S has had a lot of work, and I think that's like one of the last few places that it's having problems. But as far as I know, the plan for E10S is to have it on by default in 64-bit, and I think never on by default in 32-bit. In fact, it seems like, just from following all the development on it, it seems like, although I haven't seen this officially anywhere, that support for 32-bit has basically been dropped for E10S.
But what's the general sort of release rollout sort of? is there a date scheduled for each sort of?
I mean,
There's a wiki page which details.
supposedly January right now, but I mean it gets pushed back almost every release.
I think first it's going into 44 beta as an experiment where only a tiny fraction of users will have it turned on by default, and only users who don't have any add-ons, and then it's gradually increasing. I think in the next beta it will be for half the
I think
population.
next beta should be like 7% of users.
That's in 44.
Yes.
Just in the next, maybe in the next week
45 should
already.
be like for all beta users without add-ons and without screen readers.
Yeah, and
then
afterwards I guess it
sometimes
depends how
similar
stable.
way at release.
Yeah, so we'll get there eventually. It's been, I think, 2 releases away for almost a year now.
It is an engine. It's a platform priority for 2016. They will do it.
It is, and I think that's why they're starting to kind of cut support for some things like 32-bit is what it looks like. They're just focusing on.
Oh, I forgot to mention, E10S might come to Android in some form in 2016 after it goes to desktop.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, E10S. What else? Who has questions? Let's see.
1 more minute for this, sorry.
That's fine.
I need to make sure Birai has a chance to talk as well.
Push notifications are coming in January, and that's really a developer-facing thing. But surprisingly, a lot of developers have already built for it. It's been basically completed in Dev Edition since November 3rd, and so a lot of developers have made that work. I think there's some interesting things coming to Android with push notifications.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so, and we need it for activity. What is this thing? The dangerous activity stream.
Activity stream.
So we need it for activity stream. If
you don't know, if you're unclear about what's different about push notifications and the current web notifications, is that the push notifications. Two main things. Push notifications don't require you to have the web page open, so you can get them that way. And the other thing is that push notifications let you do quite a bit through the notifications themselves, and that functionality will not be all there when push notifications are released in in January. But for example, you'll be able to maybe like click reply on a notification, or click deny or accept, or click you'll be able to do some type of feedback back to the app that's sending the notification. So that is push notifications. That's coming in January. So people might have questions about that when their apps start to use those instead of using the notifications they use now. Like maybe Twitter will do it. Maybe Gmail. We'll see.
Well, thank you so much. I'm pretty sure there'll be like more questions for Mark. So just grab him during lunch or around here, or afterwards on RC.
Or now on RC.
Or now.
Or put them in the Etherpad for the next community meeting.
That too.
Or in the community meeting. I mean,
basically, don't wait for the next time we all meet.
Yeah.
Don't wait at all.
He's more than happy to tell you everything he knows.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.